In this video, I want to show you how to build a refrigerator cabinet box. Now on the side of this, it's just 3/4 inch maple plywood, maple face frames. Went ahead and ordered the doors here, and there is soft close door hinges here. So you just go ahead and walk away. It'll shut nice and quietly on its own. Very simple and easy to do. Just custom make it for your own refrigerator. The very first thing I create is a plan. So I'll start off by drawing a plan of what the cabinets look like and my entire cut sheet. You know, here's what the plywood box looks like, here's what the face frame parts look like. And then, since I've already built this job, I went ahead and took notes of it took 3 hours for this, an hour and a half for that, and so on. And I'll share these notes with you. But first, can you do me a favor? I'm on my journey to 1,000 subscribers. Can you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? For this refrigerator cabinet that is 8 feet tall and 30 inches deep, I use 3 sheets of 3/4 inch maple plywood. 1 sheet for each side and 1 sheet for the 2 horizontal pieces that create the storage area above the refrigerator. Start cutting your plywood to 29 1/4 inch wide. For the Dado grooves on this refrigerator panel, I'm actually going to use a router here. And then I'm going to use my basically 3/4 inch plywood bit, which is a 32nd inch undersize. And we'll go ahead and set the depth to 1/4 inch. Now, as far as the placement of this particular cabinet design, I'm actually working from the top here. There's a 3-inch face frame, a 19-inch high opening, and then I have another small piece of face frame, you know, that's going to be the rails for the top and sort of middle above the refrigerator opening. So first I'm going to mark out basically where my 3-inch rail's at, my 19-inch spacing, so that'll be 22. I'm going to use the 1.5-inch rail on this one here, and then I have to mark it on the other side too as well. When you're working with the router, you'll want to start in from your left side here, because the way the rotation is, it will actually pull the router into your fence and move along. Now that we have this first groove done, we're going to go ahead and move our fence over down below here so we can go ahead and make that Dado joint too. Okay, now we got to do the same thing to the other side, and then we'll get to building the upper part of the refrigerator cabinet box. Now that we have our 2 refrigerator side cabinet panels cut, let's go ahead and create the 2 horizontal ones at the top and the middle part right above the refrigerator, okay? For the next couple of cuts on the horizontal panel of plywood, I'm going to go ahead and use this Kreg Accu-cut system here. Once you have your 2 horizontal pieces of plywood cut for the refrigerator, apply glue liberally in the 4 Dado joints. Then apply glue to the ends of the plywood that will go into the Dado joints. Insert the horizontal plywood into the dados that are on the side panels. Make sure the 2 pieces of plywood are flush with each other and shoot a finish nail in to temporarily secure the 2 pieces together. Continue this process with the other pieces of plywood. It took me 1 hour of labor to pick up the materials, 3.5 hours to build the plywood box, 1.5 hours to cut, assemble, and install the face frame, 1 hour to putty and sand the cabinets, for a grand total of 7 hours just to build the cabinet. So just to recap, the total cost of the materials was $348 and change. 7 hours of labor to build the cabinet box with a face frame. 1 hour of planning, which includes some drawing, for a total of $600 of labor. $348 and change for materials, for a grand total of $948.19. And this does not include the cost for purchasing the doors, the delivery, and the install. The delivery and the install and door cost is coming up in a few moments of the video. Now for the final side of plywood, I'm putting all the glue in the dado joints as well as putting glue on the end of the plywood. Get your clamps out and clamp the cabinet real tight, and then shoot a couple of finish nails in to hold it until the glue dries. So after you clamp up this whole refrigerator cabinet and nail it, you got to check for square. And so I went ahead and used this Bessey strap clamp here to go from corner to corner to tweak the cabinet to make sure everything is squared on both diagonals. I went ahead and cut 3 nailers here, one for the bottom, one for the middle, and one for the top. The next thing we're going to do here is, of course, glue up and then screw it. Put a little wood glue on the cabinet bottom part and a little on each side. And I've also gone ahead and put in the screws ahead of time for the pocket hole screws. And we'll just repeat the same process for the top side. So I've also put glue on the top side of this nailer here in between there and the plywood. I'm just going to nail it in place with the glue. Okay, now we have to cut our 3-inch top rail. Now that we have our rails cut, we just need to put a couple of pocket hole screws in each. go ahead and take our rails here. This is going to be the top rail, and this is the bottom rail. And since everything has to be actually upside down, we're going to swap everything here. So this is going to be the back side. Okay. Now we'll want to get a few pocket hole screws and get those started. Looks like I'll need 8. Time to put on some glue again. Now, because this is a wider piece than normal, I like to use 2 clamps instead of 1. So I got the face frame assembled and did a little test fit, make sure it lines up with my shelf and the sides and all of that, and I can, tweak it all in the right place. But now I've got to glue it up and then we can nail it to it. Time to put on a fairly healthy bead of glue. I want to cover the entire edge of the plywood. Alright, got a 1/2 inch, exactly as planned. Alright, well that's pretty much going to take care of putting the face frame on. We'll come back a little later and putty it, sand it all up. Thank you for watching. I hope you have learned how to build your own refrigerator cabinet, and please subscribe to learn more cabinet building and remodeling projects.